guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about this week's episode because I'm going to get right into the nitty-gritty of my labor, delivery, of the birth, like the whole thing. So we're gonna dive right in. Let's do it. So, my labor and delivery was a long one. It was 31 hours in total from the time that my water broke until the time that Lola was born. So it was a long one. But before we dive into that, if you guys haven't seen my vlog, The Birth of My Daughter, I will link that below for you guys in the details. It is a beautiful little tribute to Lola coming into this world and how Jeremiah and I met and our love story leading to our little Lola Jane. So be sure to watch that one. Back to the labor. So my labor began at 12:30 in the morning on June 9th. My water broke at 12:30 in the morning. I went to the bathroom to make sure it wasn't pee. Definitely was not. I soaked through my entire pants and it was like dripping as I went to the bathroom, so I know it was for sure my water breaking. But that happened at 12:30 in the morning. So I went back to bed and I knew that it was going to take a little bit of time. So I went back to bed and told Jeremiah, and he told me to just get some rest because it would be a little while. So I went back to bed, and then at 1:30 in the morning my contractions started. So then I was trying to get as much sleep as possible. However, I started to track my contractions. So water broke at 12:30. Contractions started at 1:30, and then I started to track all of that. So as I was tracking, the contractions really weren't very consistent. They were kind of few and far between. However, my mucus plug did come out at like 3:30 in the morning, so that was 2 hours after the contraction started. That came out. I went to the bathroom, checked that all out, and I knew that it was my mucus plug because it's like a yolky, like an egg yolky texture, a little bit of blood. It's kind of a gross little thing, but it is telling you that things are underway, so it's very exciting. So I continued to track my contractions until 7 in the morning. I knew that it was going to be a long process, so I waited to call my midwife until 7 in the morning, which I think she appreciated because I didn't even have my baby until 7 a.m. the next day. So I called my midwife at 7 in the morning, and I had actually had a scheduled doctor's appointments at 2 o'clock that day to get everything checked out because I was 3 days past due at that point. So we had talked about what had happened. She told me to try and get as much sleep as possible before the appointment because it was going to be a long journey. So I went to bed and I tried to get as much sleep as humanly possible. I think I took like a 3-hour nap, something like that. And during the day my contractions had kind of started to fizzle out. They were not quite as frequent as they were during the night. They kind of started to taper down during the day, which I hear is really, really common. So after I took my big 3 to 5 hour nap, we got all situated. I took a shower, I got ready, and we prepared all of our stuff to go into the doctor's office in the hopes that things would be underway and we would not be coming back home. So we packed up the car, we got all situated, and we were ready to have our baby. Our doctor's appointment was at 2:30, and when I got there I was 1.5 centimeters dilated, so really not that much. But the midwife did a membrane sweep, and I went from a 1.5 to a 4 in a matter of seconds after she did the membrane sweep. So it was time to go. So we got checked into the birthing center and we were ready to meet our little baby. So I checked into the birthing center at 3 p.m. on the 9th of June, and I was actually there for a total of 12 hours. So we actually left the birthing center at 3 a.m., but we'll get to that in a little bit. My labor was really good. It was not quite as intense at the beginning as it was at the end. So I labored all over. So this birthing center is great. It's kind of like a home setup. So there's a living room, there's a bathroom, there's a bedroom, there's a bath and a bed and all the good stuff. So I was walking, I was trying to do little lunges and trying to do anything and everything to stay active and to try and move the baby downward to where it needed to be. So things started to pick up and the contractions did get really intense. I had a few primal moments. Actually, I had quite a few primal moments where I was moaning through the contractions. I'm sure it was a little scary for Jeremiah, but it helped everything to move through me and help me to breathe through those contractions. I labored in the tub for a little bit, and then when I got out of the tub to get checked, things were not progressing. I was at a 9 centimeter dilated, however my cervix lip was blocking the baby's head from coming, so the midwife had to kind of reach in there and try and pull the lip over the baby's head because there was no way that I was going to be able to push if that lip was in place. So I was exhausted. At that point I had been in labor for 26 or 27 hours, and that was from the point of my water breaking. There's a limited time frame for how long they want your water to be broken because they don't want any risk for infection. So at that 26-hour mark, we were reevaluating whether it was the best thing to stay at the birthing center or transfer to the hospital. And because I had been in labor for so long, because there was no progression after so long, with my cervix lip moving, and I was doing anything and everything to get it done, we made the decision to transfer to the hospital. So it was just going to be better for my body to relax, maybe get an epidural, and to calm down, and to hopefully give my body the time it needed to get the baby out. So we checked into the hospital at 3:15 in the morning on June 10th. It was a super intense 2.5-minute drive from the birthing center to the hospital. We drove ourselves because it was going to be quicker than waiting for an ambulance to get there to bring us. It was very interesting getting into the hospital. There was like no one there. It was the middle of the night. So we got our wheelchair. We were escorted up to the birthing room. I am 9 centimeters dilated, so I'm making super insane contraction noises, and they're like, go get her to the birthing room. And at that point we had already decided that I was going to get an epidural just to allow my body to relax and to let nature take its course. So we got to the birthing room, we got all checked in, we were waiting for the anesthesiologist for what seemed like a million years. I think it was probably 45 minutes. So I was going through my contractions with Jeremiah, standing up, swaying back and forth, breathing through that, and then once I got my epidural, it was awesome. I was able to take a nap. I think I took an 1.5-hour nap. Jeremiah and I both took a little nap. The doula was actually able to come with us into our birthing suite. She was a godsend. She was such a light in our birthing experience. She was so positive, and she is what helped us remain calm and get through that entire situation. It was such a blessing to have her there. We loved our doula. If you guys are looking for a doula, I highly recommend them. Even if you think you've got it all under control, having a doula is such a relief. It's such a really great thing for not just you as the birthing individual, but also your birthing partner. They have so many different techniques and ideas and suggestions and things to help make your birthing experience just that much better, and it was such a great time for us. So once I got my epidural, I took an 1.5-hour nap, we woke up, I got checked at 7 in the morning, and I was at 10 centimeters. So the cervix lip had moved and everything was good to go. I was ready to push. It was so exciting. So I started pushing at 7, and it took me about 3 or 4 pushes, and Lola was born at 7:20. I was pushing for about 20 minutes and she was born. It was the most incredible experience of my entire life. I will say that the pushing, because I was on an epidural, I didn't get to feel it as much as I had anticipated, that I really wanted to feel the pushing. However, there was a lot of pressure. So even though I wouldn't say that it's like intense, acute pain, but there is a lot of pressure as you're pushing the baby out. It's just like unlike anything you've ever imagined. It is such a incredible, beautiful, mind-blowing experience. I'm pretty sure my exact words were, wow, that was wild. It is such a cool experience to be able to deliver a baby. Women's bodies are absolutely amazing. I can't even believe that we create this life, we carry it, and we bring it through us outside into the world. It is such a cool thing. But our little Lola Jane Dempsey was born on June 10th at 7:20 in the morning, weighing in at 7 pounds, 11 ounces, and 20.25 inches long. She was perfect in every way, and I loved everything about my labor. It was such a great experience, and thank you guys for joining in this week to hear about my labor, my delivery, and the entire kit and caboodle. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment where you guys can. We'll see you next time.